the barriers that would leave it in limbo. And that's the fact that the assessments in the Yukon, unique in the country, are this partnership of the three governments that signed the treaty. And so the three governments all have particular roles to play in the assessment. If you legally or illegally bypass one, aggravate one, do not act in the, I mean, these changes are either likely illegal, but certainly not in the spirit of the treaty. If you change this and totally aggravate one of the parties, you're going to have huge uncertainty in the assessment process. First of all, you have to realize who's going to be on the board. Well, the board is made up of the three parties. So if you have one of the members of the board, one of the parties to the board making these decisions, obviously you're going to have a problem. As the NDP also said, you have Section 35 rights, constitutional rights. Once again, is why you have to have the First Nations on side. You can have, they each have settlement land, of course, where they have total control over, and they make the decisions based on, and they take into light what the YESA has recommended to them. But they also, in the way the UFA treaty works, is all 14 First Nations, the entire Yukon is divided into the First Nations as traditional land. And in their traditional land, they have certain influence and say, which was part of the treaty for them giving up the huge quantities of land they did in their treaty. So with all this, these three types of huge influence in the process, obviously if you've totally made them furious by circumventing them, by not acting in the honor of the Crown, by not acting in good faith in the negotiations, obviously there's going to be huge uncertainty in getting environmental assessments done. And that's why you have these letters from mining and from the Chamber of Mines, because they want to go back and negotiate things correctly in the future, have a partnership. As I said earlier, there's some great partnerships between First Nations and mines in the Yukon, and they're leading the way in that. The last item I wanted to talk about is the timelines. And there's some suggestion, and of course, once again, it'd be hard for people that don't come from the riding to understand how this works, and I only got 2 minutes, thank you, Mr. Speaker, is that the timelines, it looks like we're getting rid of all timelines, and that's not true. The timelines are, by the decision body, are set out in the regs and as a matter of policy in their rules. So, as you know, regulations have a process they have to go through, but wouldn't you, if it was your riding, want something sent by the economic experts, the environmental experts, the First Nation experts, the Yukon government experts in your own riding, as opposed to imposed by Ottawa? And that's exactly how it works. The same as the decision body, the local, the little ones, or the executive board decisions are made by the rules of the YESA board. So there are timelines all there. And just finally, as was said a couple of times, even without timelines, the YESA board has a great record, and we're making decisions within the proposed less than the timelines almost all the time anyways. So that in a way it was a solution that didn't, where there was no problem. So let's have a new beginning. Let's have negotiations, which may be tough, but we'll include the three legal signatories to the treaty with the federal government, the First Nations government, the Yukon government, industry, now all inside, working collaboratively. Hopefully all of us as parliamentarians will join this partnership, put this quickly behind us, and getting on with building a fair and prosperous country for us all.